This was a surprise move.
Yeah, it certainly was. Sherry, Finance Minister Heng Swee-keat has bowed out, saying that Singapore needs a younger leader to succeed the Prime Minister Lee. Now, in a letter addressed to the Prime Minister, Heng, who actually turned 60 this year, said that the pandemic meant he'd likely be too old to take over as Prime Minister when the crisis is completely over, which the government estimates is roughly 5 years from now. He said that Singapore needs a leader who will not only rebuild Singapore post-COVID-19, but also lead the next phase of their nation-building effort. Now, Heng is a career civil servant and politician. He's not only Deputy Prime Minister, but also Finance Minister, and he's won a lot of allies in the business community. But he did have a poorer than expected showing in last year's elections, and that drew some questions about his popularity and also threw the timetable for succession into doubt. But Heng really making it clear the election is not the reason he's stepping aside. He said in a press conference yesterday that he doesn't want to take on any job which he can't deliver. He said those that have worked with him knows that he's a workaholic. He puts his heart and soul into what he does, and that a younger leader really needs to succeed. So he'll step aside as Finance Minister in the next cabinet reshuffle, which will happen about 2 weeks from now, Heidi.
Right, and of course the big question is who's likely to succeed PM Lee now?
Indeed, and this has kind of thrown a spanner in the works of the succession planning, which has been so heavily laid out of the 32-member so-called 4G, the fourth generation party members. Lee has previously signalled that he will step down by the time he turns 70 in February 2022. But last year he reaffirmed this pledge during the pandemic to stay until the country was in good working order. And that also followed that weak election performance by the ruling People's Action Party. Now, Lee has now signalled the process could take years, but says a successor will be in place by the next elections in 2025. So possible successors here: the Minister for Trade and Industry, Chan Chung-sing, he's 51. The Minister for Transport, Ong Ye-kung, who's really been trying to lead efforts to reopen Singapore's borders, also 51. And Lawrence Wong, who we know on this program often hear speaking about Singapore's COVID efforts, he's 48 and co-chair of the COVID task force and also the Education Minister.